What is going on, my beautiful internet family? I'm Fero. I'm hoping you guys are having a fantastic day. If you're not having a fantastic day, start having one. The reason I say that is no matter what the negativity is, you can always have a positive thought and a positive outlook at everything that's going on. Positive vibes, guys. That's all we need to do. We have so much stuff to talk about today. We're going to backtrack on some of the Milwaukee shooting because I got more info after I made the other video. We're going to cover some Tyson's food being fined, Verizon screwing over more people, and I got something really funny to show you guys today to kind of lift your spirits. A lot of stuff has happened over the last few days since my last video, and I want to try to cover some of the things that stood out to me the most. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. First off, I got a little bit of sun today, so ignore the redness. So some crazy stuff happened at JFK Airport Sunday night. There was an active shooter scare. Some people thought it was a terrorist attack. Some people thought that maybe there was somebody going around shooting people. But around 9:30 p.m., Terminal 8 at JFK was evacuated. NYPD's terrorism unit was brought in because a woman claimed that she heard gunshots. They scoured the place, could not find anything. About 45 minutes later, around 10:15, 10:20, another call came in of shots fired, which led authorities over to Terminal 1 to shut that down, and the Van Wyck Expressway shut down also. No casings or gun was found. No footage of anybody actually shooting was uncovered. They believe that a woman mistook clapping, probably because a family saw a relative or somebody get off a plane and they get happy and whatever. She mistook that for gunfire. In this day and age, you never know. I understand why she may have freaked out, but at the same time, it's a little overboard, lady. Clapping? It doesn't sound like gunshots. I'm sorry. I shoot guns. There's a big difference. Come on. Thankfully, it was not something that actually happened and more people were hurt or the loss of life happened. Moving on to the next story is coming from Verizon. Yes, Verizon, the phone company, the one that's got huge ratings and also costs the most. You remember that? Well, they came out last month and was talking about some changes to their data plans. Well, today I saw a huge article title which stated, and I quote, "Verizon warns huge data users, switch plans or else." There's a small percent, about 1% of the 100 million people they say that they cover in the United States who still have unlimited data. That's okay. Being grandfathered in is okay, they're saying. Here's the problem. Some of those people use tons and tons and tons more than the average data user. What they're coming out and saying is to those users, and they reached out to these users. These people, you need to cut back on your data usage, change plans to the set amount of data you can use, or you can go to a competitor. We don't really care, but you can't be using so much anymore. It really adds the fine print to unlimited data. You know, I've had unlimited data before with Sprint and AT&T, and they both said you have unlimited data, but when it hits a certain point, it slows down, or they add extra taxes, or little fines. They always get you on that. I'm gonna branch from this one and go over to the Milwaukee shooting, which happened over the weekend. I covered that in my previous video, as you can see right here, but at the time I recorded that, I didn't have all the information that was coming out right as I uploaded it. So I wanted to come back to it and kind of fill in some more information. So on Saturday, the man, he was a 23-year-old black male. He was identified as Seville Smith. Probably butchered his name, and I'm so sorry to anybody who watches this and goes, "No, you said that wrong." If you don't know what happened, an officer pulled over the vehicle that Smith was in. There was two guys, Smith and another man. They both fled. As Smith was running from police, he turned around when he hit a fence and drew a gun. Now, we all know you don't draw guns and point them at police because that makes the police feel threatened. Well, Smith pointed his gun at the officer. The officer shot him twice, killed him. The other man was apprehended, and from that sparked a huge ordeal. Once news hit that a black man was shot, a huge group of people gathered to protest. They're saying around 100 or so gathered to protest what was happening, and it quickly turned violent, which now we know Milwaukee is burning, just like Baltimore. And like I said in my last video, this is simply retarded. And here's my opinion. And I'm not going to always state my opinion, but I'm going to kind of vaguely point it here. You have people who blew up and are rioting. They are destroying their community by burning everything. When a black officer shoots a black man because that black man pointed a gun at that black officer, and the officer did what his training and what he would do in self-defense to protect himself, and the black officer shot the black man, and then you have an entire black community destroy their community by burning and looting. That's not how you make things better, guys. I'm just going to say that. That's not how you make things better at all. And as somebody who believes in the Second Amendment and self-defense, when you point a gun at me, I'm gonna point my gun at you. Still, this is sad. So sad of a loss of life. Right or wrong, doesn't matter. Loss of life suck. There shouldn't be people who draw weapons on cops. There shouldn't be cops killing people. It's a really messed up world we live in, guys. I wanted to touch on this just because I left some information out, but what this has developed into, and the fact that they had to bring in the National Guard, they had to impose a curfew, they are just making things so difficult for all the people that want to play Pokemon Go. We're gonna move on away from that because I feel too much controversy going on with that story. So, how much do you guys like your chicken? A lot of people like chicken. It's really good stuff. The biggest supplier of chicken, Tyson Foods, is being fined $263,000 because in their plant in Texas, a worker got his finger completely cut off in a machine. Now, of course, that sparks OSHA regulations, but when they came in and checked stuff out, they found so many violations, it came up to about $263,000. Think of how much chicken you can buy with that. The U.S. Department of Labor said that Tyson was fined for about 15 major violations in their plant in Center, which is near the Louisiana border between Texas and Louisiana. And let me quote this next part. Among violations found by inspectors, there were high levels of carbon dioxide, lack of proper safeguards on moving machine parts, and not enough protective equipment for workers. OSHA had too much fun with this. Way too much fun. It was just like, oh yeah, money, money, money. Before we move on to the next story, guys, all links are in the description below. You guys can go check out these stories yourself. I greatly encourage you guys to stay updated on news yourself. I really appreciate that you guys are here watching my show. Thanks a lot. Moving on to the next story, which is something that's still developing. It's kind of blasting all over the news. Chapo Son supposedly got kidnapped. The kidnapping happened at a Mexican beach resort where the oldest son of El Chapo, Ivan, was there, and he was part of multiple people that were probably snatched up by a rival drug cartel or other gang-affiliated members trying to probably get ransom money. El Chapo is a really big drug lord of one of the biggest drug cartels in Mexico. He's a really big focal point for the news. A lot of people know his name, know of him. So for this to hit the news of, oh no, his son got kidnapped, it's understandable that it's newsworthy. Yes, he is the son of a drug lord, but at the same time, I do hope that he's okay because like I've said before, loss of life is terrible. Moving on to something that is positive and really funny, guys. If you guys haven't seen this already, it is blowing up over the media. I want you guys to watch this and have a good laugh. Here, check this out.
Where are you, Anthony?
In the emergency room.
Why are you in the emergency room?
I inhaled the doggy toy.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
How can you tell? Okay.
So the young boy was playing and he inhaled a dog toy. Thankfully, he could still breathe and talk and communicate, but every time he took a deep breath or started to talk, it squeaked. I thought this was hilarious. I really wanted to share with you guys, especially to put a positive spin on today's episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed that because I really did. But moving on to our big story of the day, and it's something that's developing over the last couple of days. We're gonna talk about the flooding in Louisiana. Over the last week or so, there's been tons and tons of rain that has hit the Baton Rouge area. Waters have risen all over the Baton Rouge area and has become almost comparable to how New Orleans was back when Katrina hit in 2005. A state of emergency was declared back on Friday, August 12th by the governor of Louisiana. On Sunday, August 14th, he did reach out to President Obama for additional assistance. A lot of reports are coming out about the damage, not knowing how much damage there actually is. Some people estimate as many as 10 to 40,000 homes are destroyed, either washed away or going to be so heavily water damaged, and the resulting mold, black mold from that water damage and whatever else is in that water. It's just sad. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot. Think of all the people. Think of all the people that now have nowhere to go home to. But seeing stuff like this really, really gets me. Since last week, there has been more than 20 inches that have just pounded the Baton Rouge area. With that, all the rivers and everything flowing into the area have increased. And the really sad part is, it's projected to have even more storms in the next couple of days. So if you're the praying type, if you're just the one who likes to send positive thoughts, be sending it to the people of the Baton Rouge and lower Louisiana area. They really need it right now. This is nuts. What we're seeing is basically 2005 Katrina all over again, except without the hurricane this time. The governor stated that among the water damage and everything. What's really going to be a hard part after the rain subsides and the water starts to drop is all the standing water. The problem is not all this water of where it's going in the region has a way to dissipate. It's just flooding the area and going to stay there. A lot of people have evacuated their homes. Some people have actually stayed there because they don't want to give up. In this picture right here, you can see this man is standing in what looks like his living room. The water is coming in underneath the floorboards, but it's also rising up on the window. It's sad. This really hits me, guys. I hate to end this video on a negative note, but if you enjoyed this video today, leave a like. If you didn't enjoy, it's okay to leave a dislike. I still love you guys no matter what. Remember, guys, be the change in this world that you want to see. As always, I'm Fero. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for all the support, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace!